Today, I'm going to talk about why it's so important to make things and to never stop making things. And I noticed that this had a laser pointer, so I just wanted to use it at least once. Never stop making things. First, a little bit of background about how I got to here. I started Threadless 11 years ago when I was a sophomore in college. I was going to art school, and it was a hobby. I just wanted to make stuff with my friends. That stuff happened to be art on my computer, JavaScript battles that I would get in, just programming weird things. And Threadless was a side project for 4 years before it even turned into a full-time business for me. Really just doing it for the love. And that's still why we exist today. We're a lot bigger today. We got millions of artists around the world contributing. We've paid out millions of dollars to artists for the work that they create. And basically what we do is people submit designs to us. We offer them up for scoring, and then we make products with those designs and distribute them. And we pay the artists and credit them on every product. And I still code today because I'm a maker. Contribute code to our website. I believe that there is a universal human need to make things. There's this guy, Jeff Howe, who about 4 years into business he created a word called crowdsourcing to describe what we've been doing for 4 years, and now it's a word in the dictionary. But he went through this process where he followed the Warped Tour for a full year, and he saw all these really creative people writing poetry or making tattoos or music or whatever it was. And he observed that they were doing that not because they wanted to make money from it or even that they wanted to be poets or filmmakers or anything like that. The reason that he gave for it, which I'm just going to read it verbatim because it's a great quote. Making stuff is the most joyful occupation in which we ever engage. It's the closest we come to God. And I don't know, like that doodle talk that we just heard really fit well with this, because I really thought that what I was doing when I started Threadless was just doodling, just screwing around, having fun. But it's amazing what comes from making things. I'm going to jump around here with a bunch of different concepts, but learn how to make by making is something that I've done all my life. I never finished college, and I learned HTML by clicking View Source in my web browser and looking at everything. I built a tree fort when I was 12 by just grabbing a hammer and nailing a board in, standing on it and nailing the next board in, and I wasn't a carpenter. I learned Photoshop by clicking every button in the program until I knew what they all did. And I think that the discovery process of learning on your own, I mean, it's fine to ask for help for things here and there, but the discovery process of learning on your own allows you to bring something to the table that maybe didn't exist before because somebody's not telling you how to do it. Another concept, make yourself uncomfortable. I'm really uncomfortable right now, and I'm really, I'm really happy about it because I'm in a totally new situation. It feels great. I'm learning a lot. And I feel like innovation comes from amateurs. When you don't really know what you're doing, then you're not doing it the right way. You're doing it the next way that's going to be, and it's not going to happen every time where all of a sudden you've invented the next way of doing things. But if you just step outside your comfort zone and dive in, see what you can accomplish, I think it's really powerful. I also think sometimes if you're an expert at something, you get a little too caught up in what you know and you're just kind of sharing the same thing rather than learning and teaching something yourself. So the next concept, make unintended consequences. I think that a lot of the people giving talks today, the reason they're doing what they are doing today is because they had this joy for something at a very early stage, like Kimball, who's going to be talking later, got really into cooking, and now look at what he's doing. Or learning about what your kids are eating, and that you don't go into that thinking, oh, I want to change the world and what kids are eating. You start because you have this joy of creating something within that space. And you can't predict the results of what you make, like what it's going to turn into. Like I said, when I started Threadless, it was not meant to ever be what it is today. It was just making things and putting myself out there and doing it. Do it for yourself. I mean, everybody needs a creative release or something that they do with no agenda behind it. They're not doing it for any other reason than they want to. So don't be a passive viewer of the world. You don't want your children to grow up and ask, what were my parents good at? And, oh, they were really good at watching YouTube videos, or, something that, and our culture right now, too, is very in this weird state where this is more important than ever to not just sit there and watch all this stuff and engage, get involved. Make something with your bare hands. The other day, I went in my backyard and I just built a fire pit. I don't even think it's legal. But I went to Home Depot and I got some mortar, and I had never mortared anything in my life before, and I just figured it out, and it's really ugly. But my wife and kids, we go out there and we roast marshmallows over it, and we probably shouldn't be eating marshmallows, but just realized that. But it kind of is a good reminder of why we're here when you actually sit down and make something. Doodle, I didn't know that presentation was just going to happen, but this is doodle, try, make something, create a prototype, sketch, tinker. Like, you don't have to have a master plan for what you're going to do. All you have to do is pick up a pen and just start drawing or writing or whatever it is. Get it out of your head. And a lot of times I do this and find out that this thing that I've been thinking about wanting to do actually kind of sucks. But since I started on it, I'm not wasting my time with it anymore because I can see it existing, and it's a good way to weed out the bad ideas. A lot of the Threadless community does this. They make something cool every day. And this is a really great challenge. I've started to do it with my wife and kids, where we try to make some kind of project every day. And sometimes it's just we paint, and other times there's this corner in my hometown called Shoe Corner, where magically shoes just appear on this corner in the middle of a cornfield. And it's been that way since 15 years. They clean it up every Friday. There's actually a crew in our city that cleans it up. And my wife and I are going to build a visitor center for it and make up a story for why it exists that's not true. I don't know, maybe it'll lead to something amazing. Making with friends, this is a really important one too. If you're an entrepreneur looking for a co-founder, you're a musician looking for the rest of your band, or a children's book author looking for an illustrator, I find the best way to find collaborators is to actually start with something really small, like go just draw something together, like make a friend and then make things together. My co-founder for Threadless, I met on this weird artsy online forum, and we were getting in JavaScript battles with each other. Like, he figured out how to make the browser move on your screen with JavaScript, and so then I made it move in a circle, and then he made it move into a star. But then we started this company together, and it all started because we made little projects. Really important. Make and make and make till you're dizzy. I get in these, I don't know about you guys, but when you're in the zone, it kind of like feeds itself. If I work a late night, usually the next night I'm working a late night too, and I get into these cycles of creativity, of focus. And I find that the best fuel for making something new is making something beforehand. Like, it constantly flows. You don't get caught up in, I'm going to watch these TV shows today, because you're in a project and you're in this flow of making things. And then this is a great one today. And there are so many opportunities on the internet for you to even just share it. Like, don't make something and just let it sit in your basement. At least post a picture of it for the world to see and let them react to it. And if you want to take it a step above that, you can usually find places to put the things you make, like Etsy, put it up for sale. Or if you're into baking, try to create a foodsy shop and get it out there. It doesn't have to be your job or anything. It's a hobby, but put it out in the world to react to, so that unintended consequence might happen. And then to wrap up, I just think that a typical problem in many people's lives are you get caught up in a routine, or you're too comfortable, or your life is kind of stagnant, or you're caught in a rut or whatever it is. And I feel like the best way to get out of that is to just start creating things and get lost in it. I mean, and know that it'll probably turn into something more than what you're doing right now. It's not just a doodle. This is your life. So that's that. And I want to also thank Threadless for all the community made these little make things throughout my presentation, which I thought was pretty neat. Thanks, guys.